It is damn near Aquarius season. It might even actually officially be by the time I post this. So, um, it's a big time of year for me. My birthday, blow candles, February 7th. Mark your calendars. I'm gonna be 26. I'm very excited. 25 has been fun, but it's a second house perfection year, so that's kind of like learning a lot of lessons about like paying bills on time and just being like an adult. And a third house perfection year is kind of more like actually like community and media and stuff. And like I work in the media, so I feel like it's gonna be very like a fortuitous time for me. And I also have some other sort of transit going on right now that's like it's just like a lucky time for me, and I'm feeling called to like uproot and like go, you know what I mean? And I don't know exactly how that's gonna happen, but I just like I'm stacking away my pentacles for when it happens, like being present in the meantime, letting the cards fall where they may. I've been reading again. I started reading, I got for Christmas, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And I'm pretty sure this book is gonna mind freak me. But like, because I saw a clip of Lana Del Rey talking about it once, and like I'm pretty sure that she sort of explained that like the whole secret of the book is that like you have to figure out exactly what it is that you want and then like go like don't settle for anything but that because I mean, I'm like a chapter into it and like that's what I've gotten from it so far, and I'm assuming that the rest of the chapters are just going to be similar stories that like explain that people that do that get get what they want because they're persistent, their vision is crystal clear, so it's razor sharp. I say that all the time. um so uh a quote that I read last night that I highlighted in my book, it says success comes to those who are success conscious. And I'm continuing to see this play out just like in different areas of my life, like, you know, like retrospectively looking back on me, or even just like I went bowling with my parents today. And like for example, like initially the first round we bowled, I had the highest amount of points. I had them in the first round, okay? And by the end, oh my God, I lost so bad. I sucked terribly, hugely. I wasn't trying that hard. Also, these are my nails, so it's not super easy to bowl with nails like that. But I was there, I was having fun. And my dad was really good at it. He won both rounds. You know, I like hyped him up, whatever. But it's like it was interesting too because like just seeing his energy change. And then for example, too, my parents are downstairs playing like crib now, which like I'm sitting there watching them and I'm like, I don't understand how this game works. But um I'm watching them. My dad is like losing. And it's so funny because like when he's winning, like his energy is so different. And then like when he even is like losing by a point, he gets kind of like, you know, like into that lack mentality. And it does make sense because he grew up like um with not a lot of money. And like he had like nine siblings. So yeah, you know, it's just it's interesting to see. But like for me, where that plays out is like with relationships. So like the first time I ever had a boyfriend, and sorry, this is I'm just gonna be talking like free stream of consciousness yapping, and then I'm gonna pull some tarot cards for Aquarius season. So I don't know what point we'll get to that, but for now it's just me yapping about things I'm noticing in the energy as of late. Um so for me, like with, I guess, relationships, so I have only ever had like one serious-ish boyfriend or whatever in my life. Um, and this was when I was like 18 years old. And so it was like my first year of university, and I'm a Pisces Venus. So like if I love you, I love you. And like I thought that I was well, this man presented the idea of like getting married and having kids, and was I 18 years old? Yes, but also was this like the first time someone had ever like I felt like they were taking me seriously and seeing my potential. I was like, oh my God, like I need to hold on to this because I never experienced that before. And so it became like how my dad gets in like a lack mentality, right? So then when that um started, like when there were problems in that area of my life, like it felt like everything else was like impossible. And when that relationship ended after that, like I just felt like I was like, oh, that ended because I am not worthy of being like a wife, of being like a mother, of being taken seriously. And then so I stopped taking myself seriously for a really long time. Like I was sleeping on myself from probably like uh honestly like age 16 to like 23, I'll say. And like, yeah, I'm about to be 26 right now, and I feel very like on purpose. And like, I don't feel like I'm meeting my full potential. And that is in part like because of where I live. Like, I feel very like limited here. Like, I don't, I don't have that community of people to like have fun and like do things with. Like, I have no problem going out and doing things alone. Like, I go out for breakfast like by myself all the time. I go to the gym by myself. Like, if I want to do something and no one wants to do it with me, nine times out of 10, I'm still gonna go do it. Whereas, like, you know, when I was younger, I wouldn't do that. Um, But yeah, like I want to be around like-minded people, and I just made a little yap like on Tumblr, and I was talking about how like when I was in Toronto, like this was like a year and a half ago, but no, I just like it was like I was in the right energy, like I was being very receptive and everyone around me was very receptive to me, and it was just like it felt good, and I want to be in those kinds of vibes. Like that's what I'm feeling called towards, because like the way I live right now, like I'm not mad at it. I love my life. I think it's really cute. I love myself. Like I feel like I've accomplished a lot for like how old I am, and I've lived a million lives in like less than 26 years, but also I'm like, okay, like there are bigger and better things for me. Like I'm meant for more. And that could just be the fact that I had a Monster energy drink for the first time in years, and I took my Vyvanse. So I also was writing on Tumblr. I said that when I combine like stimulants and like caffeine, I feel like that episode of Glee when Terry Schuster, she gets all the kids hooked on pseudoephedrine because she's like, oh my God, just take these little pills and like you'll have so much energy. And they are fucking slaying. But then they get in trouble for abusing drugs and they're not allowed to take the pseudoephedrine anymore. And they have to go back to being boring, regular losers who can hardly function. So I'm glad that I don't get in trouble for mixing stimulants and caffeine. I don't know, it works for me, you know? Like I don't do it all the time. And definitely like when I first got prescribed Vyvanse, I was worried that like I would abuse it because before I ever took Vyvanse, like the boyfriend that I had when I was like 18, one time he gave me Adderall and like I didn't know I had ADHD or anything at the time. And he just gave it to me and I just like took it randomly, and then I was stupid and like while I took it I was scrolling on my phone, so then I spent hours just like scrolling on my phone and I couldn't like break out of that. And then um I had the like afterwards I couldn't get out of bed for like 48 hours. Like I was in great pain, I was exhausted. And then so I was like reluctant to ever get medicated, but like I need to make a video one day about my whole entire experience about how I finally got a bipolar diagnosis, because that was a wild ride from like age 13 to how old was I when I finally got diagnosed? Like 23. Oh my God. Um, and like I still like I do feel aligned with that diagnosis. Like I do still feel like, okay, yes, I'm a bipolar person, but like again, ever since I became conscious, like I don't feel like I need to take that medication. And then like with my ADHD meds, I got those for free for like years, but now I have to pay like I don't know, like $60 a month for them because they made a generic brand or whatever. So I'm like, okay, whatever. But I do feel like they help me focus and whatever. And like today, for example, like it's a Saturday, I didn't have to work or anything. So like I didn't take it at first. And then around like 2 p.m., I was like, why am I so sleepy tired? And I realized it's because I didn't take my meds. So then I took them later in the day. And so I might end up staying up like late tonight or whatever. But like I don't feel what I'm trying to say is I don't feel like I'm hooked on them and I never like abuse them. Like I just sort of like take them to give me a little like oomph, and then I like go about my day. Like maybe I'll like the worst thing I do at this point is sometimes I like to get really high and lay in bed and like order a lot of stuff online. And I don't even feel bad about that because I'm also like saving money now at the same time. Um, or like a smoke weed, you know? But like other than that, like I'm just doing things that are good for me. Like today I woke up, I like worked out. I do these little like dance videos. Oh my God, so much fun. I took dance class when I was younger, and I'm really good at just like learning choreography and just like I'm I love to just yeah, have fun, move my body, like get that trauma out. I still need to call and see when I get to start EMDR therapy because excited to move that through me. Like I'm feeling ready to like it, I feel fragmented, I guess is the best way I can describe my experience, because I always say this, but like I've been celibate since like um October 2023. Um and like that's a long ass time for like someone who it's like I am in like my prime, right? And I take really good care of myself. Like I'm in really good shape. This is the best I've ever felt physically and mentally. But it's like I am too like spiritually conscious to just go out and share myself with people in the way I used to. Because when I was younger, I used to be so reckless about stuff like that. And now even just like, well, actually like part of the trauma I have from being assaulted is like when I was trying to hook up with people when I was like in my early 20s, it was like my response to that was to vomit. Like I had like a psychosomatic reaction to like physical touch. And even still, it's like it's very uncomfortable for me, but I don't want to stay stuck in that place. So I'm like, that is why, when I meet someone and I feel really aligned with them and they're like, oh my God, I want to build a life with you. I'm like, yep, let's do that. So I can start working through this with you and I can help you work through things. But when they're not ready, they're not ready. So you can't make someone receive, because so how I was saying success comes to those who are success conscious, right? So that's where I'm at right now. So that my first boyfriend, actually now I'm looping all this back together. My first boyfriend planted that seed in my head, right, of love and marriage. And then I didn't feel like I was worthy of it, blah, 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 whatever. And so I spent, like I said, a really long time chasing myself in circles, being like, oh my God, like It's like I was looking for love, but like I wasn't on the right vibration to receive it. Um, and because people were trying to love me in the past and I wasn't able to receive it. And then now it's like I have so much to give, and the people or the person that I want to give it to the most is not able to receive it. So then I still have all this love around me, right? And so I'm just kind of like, okay, how do I alchemize this towards like something else? It's like I don't want to like put myself out there and like focus on like, oh, like let me just like go stay in circles of like chasing like I want to call it like a lust template, you know what I mean? Like just being like sharing my energy with like people like half ass that don't care about me. It's like I just want to keep my energy to me and like elevate and get where I'm supposed to be and trust that like everything will align and I'll be able to work through this in the right time with the right person. But I'm very eager to get past this part of me because like when I look back at like who I was when I was 20, I'm just like, oh my God, like I was just not living up to my potential. I was not on purpose. I was stuck in victim energy. I was stuck in looking for everything outside of myself. And we don't do that in a new earth. So I'm very, very happy. Like basically just based on like the trajectory of my life, I know that success is inevitable for me. And I know that like, I mean, I've studied my own astrology to know that like I'm meant for really important things, right? So because I am conscious of that, because I am conscious, like, okay, people are like, because I perceive myself as a person who is worthy of being taken seriously, and because I take myself seriously, people are seeing me that way again. And so I'm just like leaving myself open to the universe. And I'm just like, okay, let me just get ready. Let me just focus on getting ready and being ready and staying ready. That's another thing it says in Think and Grow Rich. You have to stay ready. You can't just be like, okay, I want this. Now let me go over here in the meantime and like dawdle around and do all kinds of irresponsible things that are not on purpose. We're using the grandma's postcard tarot deck. I can't remember if I've used this on here or not. And we're just gonna see what comes out. I also like so last year the thing I did was I got a music oracle deck for Christmas and it had a bunch of quotes from like different people on it. Did you see how that slid down? So annoying. Um, and then so I asked for another deck, the Wheel of Fortune, tens, endings. So yeah, Age of Aquarius is like it's like the tower. After the tower comes a star. The star is Aquarius. But okay, let me finish this before I shuffle anymore. So music oracle deck, and I have been making videos on this channel like every time the signs change or whatever. And then so I asked for a new deck, and so I got this one of like people like women in hip hop and I'm like okay this is cute but like I was going through it last night and it doesn't have any like quotes in it and also like for Aquarius season like Young Miami is one of the people and I'm like I just don't think she's gonna have anything really that insightful to say so we might not do quotes from that deck for seasons but I'm gonna figure out something else to do. The Seven of Swords, what is going on here? The butler and the maid and see, oh, the old woman is mad. So maybe this is kind of like play. Play is coming back, okay? Play is coming back. And the the stuffy people who think that everything has to be sad and hard right now are gonna have a hard time with that. Oh, I shared a photo on Tumblr and it was like there's like these two little blobs, and one blob is just like gray and like serious, and another blob is like orange and fun, and the orange blob is all like contorted, and the gray blob is like, excuse me, like you are being very silly. And the orange one is like, yes, have you ever tried it? I'm like, yes, that's me, because people will get so mad at you if you don't feel like them. Like, especially so like the inauguration is coming up in America, for example. And again, I've said this before. I am Canadian, live in Canada. I work for an American company remotely. And so I manage a bunch of Americans. And a lot of the people who work for me, I think, are anti-Trump. And I'm not pro-Trump. I'm not pro anyone. I'm not political. I'm a third-party observer. I'm a Halian. Um, and yeah, they're just like they're saying like, oh yeah, like I'm having like a hard time getting my work done because like I'm feeling a lot of anxiety because of the election. I'm just like, obviously I have empathy, I have compassion. I tell them like do nice things for yourself. But it's like if you are taking care of yourself, then like I don't know, political stuff like that, like I don't know. I just like I am just saying there is the victim card declined. Is all I'm gonna say. But yeah, again, I have a lot of compassion and I just do everything with love. And I've started having pitch meetings with my writers because I'm trying to teach them how to be a little bit more creative so I don't have to be the one generating all the ideas because it gets hard. It gets hard coming up with a lot of ideas. Um, but still, I rise, my Angelou vibes. Um, the Fool. I don't know why I just felt called to do that. Um, So yeah, we've been having pitch meetings, and so like we had the first one the other day, and I just kind of like put together a little document in like 5 minutes. I was like, oh, here are things that are coming up, like the inauguration, and I just made a comment. I was like, yeah, like like we just have to make it like as positive as possible, and it was like crickets. Like everyone just kind of like I don't know. I feel like they thought I was being tone deaf, but also I'm just like. What's happening is what's happening, and there's nothing we can do to change it. So if at least we can like laugh at the funny things when they happen, because admittedly, like after we've seen 4 years of what a Trump presidency looks like. The headlines are insane. Like it's lunacy. And I think like if we can take that comedic, like you remove yourself from the situation of being a victim and just be like, okay, like stop being like life is happening to you. And stop saying, okay, this is happening for me. What can this do? Like just try to see the good in everything, see the fun in everything. Success comes to those who are success conscious. So if you don't think there's any way that success can happen under a Trump presidency, like, okay, fine, sure, whatever. Like, obviously, bad things are going to happen. Bad things happen when anyone is president. But like, if you are just like focused on the negative, then that is what you are going to manifest for yourself. And you're going to feel stuck for 4 years. You're going to feel stuck. Or, oh, there's a Ram Dass quote. And what does he say? He says, you can do it like it's a struggle, or you can do it like it's part of the dance, or something like that. And I don't know about you, but I love to do everything like it's part of the dance. Because when you're struggling, the secret is pseudoephedrine. That's how you do it, like or vibes. But yeah, just like the vibes for Aquarius season are the Five of Wands. So yeah, this is like conflict. That's you can keep yourself stuck in conflict, or the Ace of Swords. This is a new beginning, or you can see the truth. You can see, okay, they're trying to keep you stuck. And you see this is actually like an astronaut. So it's like you can remove yourself from an old Earth and you can be an astronaut heading to a new Earth. Put yourself in outer space, take yourself out of the box, see things differently, shake things up, free yourself from inertia. Look up the word inertia if you don't know what it means. It is, I think, Newton's first law of motion. And basically, the premise is that, like, if you do not change your vibration, like, you can want and want and want and want and want to be better. Trust me, I know this. I have been here. I have wanted to know better and do better and be better. But until I shook things up, until I changed my usual routine, until I started to look at things differently and think differently and rewire my brain and change my habits, I stayed stuck in a period of inertia and I felt like nothing would ever change. And now I feel like nothing could ever be the same. And all like every day is different. And every day I allow different things to happen to me. And I am just receptive to it all, whatever the universe wants to give me. I know that it is for my greater good. And sometimes, like my humanness, when you were battling with the flesh, you're gonna resist that shit. And that is when temptation comes in. Okay. I went to Catholic school when I was younger, and we would like take out a rosary and say like Hail Mary and like the Lord's Prayer and stuff. And like the lines about um like oh, let me Google it right now. We're gonna Google the Lord's Prayer. Oh, I have my cards on my keyboard. My ad block is up to date. They're trying to make me pay for it. Not in a new earth. Okay, let me Google the Lord's. The last thing I Googled was pseudoephedrine. The Lord's Prayer. I wish there was a church for like cool, swaggy people. I don't want to go to a stuffy church. Okay. So he says, whoever wrote this prayer says, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So that the last three lines I just said, that's just basically as above, so below. So it's like, things have to manifest energetically in the 5D before they can happen in the 3D. But like if you were tapped in energetically, God will give you previews through the 5D. And that is actually how I know that like I am worthy of love now because I have been shown previews of what is possible for me. And I just have to hold on to that and like know that if something shows up for me, but it doesn't feel like that, like, I can be receptive to it and I can see like, okay, is this for me? But it's like ultimately if you are aligned, if your crown chakra is open, you will know what is for you and what isn't for you. Um, Give us this day our daily bread and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. So it's just like you have to know that I think I said this before, like months ago, but it's like we have a kind God who gives you what you need, not what you want, right? So you have to um And like you're a human, so like I said, you're going to battle with your flesh, right? And that's actually the next line. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. So it's like, okay, you're going to be presented with situations in your humanness that are going to cause you to battle with your flesh. But it's like, okay, forgive others, forgive yourself for falling into that, and know that God will forgive you. And just be rooted in forgiveness, which is love, instead of fear, which is hate, which is anger, which is like being at war with your fellow man. Like so much of life is actually like inside of ourselves, and it's about like feeling and so many people are just trying to repress their feelings or distract themselves or like play games and like be in their ego. And again, we don't want to kill the ego. We want to befriend it. Okay. 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 We're just gonna see what's here. The Seven of Cups. That's like choices. And that's kind of what I've been in. It's like I sometimes will get tunnel vision. Like if so for example, like I'll meet someone, right? And then so when you're like a woman who kind of like puts yourself out there or whatever, like not even in like and I used to post very salacious photos of myself online, right? So then that would obviously be like a hard thing for a man if he's coming to approach me, like if he is in his ego, like that's going to trigger him, right? And that is almost sort of the circumstance that like I'm in right now. And so like because I thought I heard something fall downstairs, but anyways, um like this person just kind of came to me. It's like, like I don't know if I would want to be with someone who does that. And I'm like, okay, you know what, like that, like I get that. And I don't know if that was even like aligned with like how I was presenting myself. It wasn't aligned with the life I wanted to live. I was only doing that because I didn't feel like I was worthy of like love. I was like, okay, well then let me settle for attention because that's second best. But no, what I really want is love, right? So then I had to like rein my energy back in that way and like no, okay, like I am worthy of this. And like if people want to connect with me, they have to do it more on like a level more because I used to just like share my energy with people and they could sexualize me and like that was that. And then I would take their energy and they would take my energy. And it was just like a negative sort of exchange. Whereas now it's like if you want to like be in my life, you have to be doing the work. Like you have to be able to like have hard conversations with me, and a lot of people can't. The moon. Things are being hidden, like we can't always see what's happening, but we just have to trust the higher plan. And yeah, the Six of Cups, a cute little hedgehog family playing. That's how I'm trying to be. I'm trying to have fun. I just want to bring fun back. I want to continue to motivate others to shake things up and live up to their full potential and love thy neighbor. Love thy neighbor. Do not let yourself be delivered into temptation. I can't believe I'm talking like this. Like, um, maybe I talked about this on here before, but when I was younger, I went to church camp. So basically, like, I was baptized Catholic. And it's not like I grew up, say, like going to church every Sunday, but like I went to Catholic school until grade 7, and I would go to church camp in the summer sometimes, and it would be like, so it would be like a 7 night thing or whatever, and like every night we would have some sort of like worship service or whatever, and the leaders they would like watch you, you know what I mean, and like see if you were having like a spiritual experience, like if you're being like I call it anointed basically, and like I feel anointed now after like um this whole journey I've been on for the last few years, but like so basically it's like every night, like maybe the first night like 5 kids have this like experience, they're like overcome with emotion, they feel they're connected to God, and then it's like say like by night 3 if you haven't had that sort of experience, it's like the leaders would kind of like glom onto you and really like push their energy onto you, and like it was like they wanted to see everyone have that sort of connection with God. But then when I would come home from church camp, it was like all I could talk about forever was like God, and that was because it activates your crown chakra. um and yeah, so I mean, like, and another thing I've been realizing too. Sorry, this video is so all over the place, but it'll resonate with who it's supposed to resonate with. Another thing too is like I've always been really smart and like interested in things that like a lot of people don't understand, and like I felt really like lonely when I was a kid, but it was like I had no one around me that would even like understand like what I wanted to talk about. So I would like dumb myself down so I could connect with them. And I don't want to have to do that, you know? So then now I just love that I feel so comfortable to like love what I love and to like I used to so felt really nerdy, loved things when I was younger, right? And then I like reformed to like fit in with like the sheeple. And I like drank a lot. I like slept with people who didn't deserve me. I was not on purpose. Like I was not conscious. I was just on autopilot mode, whatever. And then I had to like obviously the pandemic happened, whatever. And then I moved to Vancouver to go to school during the pandemic, and I was like alone a lot of that time. And then moved back to my parents' house for a little bit, and then I got an apartment by myself and I was alone for 2 years. And that's kind of when I had this like activation, whatever, like I fainted one day. And I didn't even think of it this way until I heard someone else describe it this way. But it was like, okay, so I was alone in my apartment. This was after I had met twin flame, whatever the fuck. Just this person that I met online that I had a really intense connection with flew to meet me, whatever. And then he flew back home. And and then afterwards, I kind of like it's like I had been awoken, I guess. Like I felt like after he left, it was like my heart was broken and I was like, why am I so like attached to this? But I worked through it, you know what I mean? And it was like I came out the other end like a higher vibrational person. And probably like a month after he left, I was alone in my apartment one day and I just like literally fainted. Like I was getting up to plug my headphones in and then all of a sudden I got really dizzy and I was out and I don't know how long I was like asleep for. Um, but I when I came to, I was sort of like seeing visions and like I heard, like your name is Haley, like this is what you do, this is who you are, kind of. And then after like since then nothing was the same. And so kind of how I phrase it is it's like they gave me a software reboot, like when I was awake instead of like asleep. But then this girl that I watch on here that is kind of like similar to me, she said that she has memories of kind of like coming off like an alien spaceship and there was like the before and the after period. And that's very much how it is for me. Like I feel like something otherworldly was like implanted in my consciousness yeah, around that time. And ever since then I just like I feel so on purpose and like have I like wandered away from my path a little bit like over time, yes, but it's like I'm always called back to like doing the work and every time I kind of like I take myself more seriously. And like so this time, for example, like I'm here, I have this YouTube channel, and I show up here like pretty regularly. Initially I was like flaky with it, but actually every day in December, like I was posting random shit and that was mostly just like me crying into my phone because I was feeling a lot. But like being consistent and doing that, I feel like it has motivated me and seeing like that didn't get a lot of response, which is totally fine. I did that more for me than anyone else. But like now people are actually responding to what I'm doing here and like resonating with what I post on Tumblr. And it's like, I'm focused on like knowing like, okay, I'm on this journey and I know that like what like I'm not looking. Because I used to be sort of like the last few years I felt like a princess in a tower, and while I've been in this tower, I've been building an empire of my own. It's like I'm not waiting for the emperor to bring me this empire for me to rule. It's like, okay, well, I'm here, let me build an empire. But initially I was out trying to be fucking Zelda, like trying to find my prince, like out like in the battlefield. And I'm like, I had to take myself out of the battlefield, basically, and put myself up in the tower and say, okay, like I had to pull a Scott Disick and be like, I don't have to deal with these fucking peasants. Like they're draining my energy. Um, and also I had work to do on myself because for a long time, I was being in my fucking five of wands and casting the blame on everyone around me and not looking in the mirror. I wasn't taking accountability for like what I could do in my own life. And like once you do take accountability for what like what you can change about your life if you are unsatisfied, like that is one of the most powerful things you can do. Because otherwise, like if you are feeling disempowered, like that is how the powers that were, or whatever you want to call them, like that is how they leech off of you because then you are giving into their system. Like you are giving them your money, your energy, you're feeling tired, like you're not alive, you're not on purpose, you're not because me, it's like I'm radiant. I live with spark. Like I put so much of myself out there so that other people can catch that spark and then they feel empowered to do whatever it is that they're called to do. You don't need to live like me. You don't need to do what I'm doing. You do what you feel called to do. And I'm going to keep doing what I feel called to do. And I just live every day in the moment. Like day to day, I do my best. And yeah, I'm open. I am a channel of the universe. And I love my stimulants and I love my monster energy. And I love to laugh. I love to teach people. I love to show people their power. That is what the most powerful thing you can do in the age of Aquarius is help other people see their power. So, the only journal prompt I have for you from this video is how can you help someone you love recognize their power every day for the next month? Make that your personal mission. And if we all just try to like show each other the best versions of ourselves, I think that that will help us grow into them. Because sometimes it's like you just need to be able to know that it's like once you see how another person sees you, it can change everything for you. And I could make a whole entire video to talk about that, and maybe I will one day. But I'm gonna cut this off here, and I hope this helps who it's supposed to help. I hope you have a wonderful Aquarius season, and I don't know what the stars are doing next, but I will be back to talk about it. Okay, bye.